Sorry about that. I ran out of time again. Up in the corner of the first red note card, it says resource number 1. All right. If I use World Book Online as resource number 1, I am using that article to fill in any information I find on my explorer's birth date, the place that they were born, and any information that I get about their family. Okay, so whichever resource you have in your citation here for number 1 is the article you're using to fill in this note card. Okay, the next note card looks exactly the same. It has the same headings, except in this corner it says resource number 2. Whichever citation you have in here for number 2 is the article that you are using to fill in this note card. Again, even if your first resource gave you the birth date, you're putting it down again if this article gives it to you, just to verify that that is definitely correct information. All right. And then there is a third red note card for resource number 3. Again, on my citations, I should have a third resource. Whatever I have in there for my bibliography, that is the article I am using to gather information for resource number 3. Again, if it's telling you the same thing, you still need to fill it in on this note card. If for some reason the article wouldn't mention their birthplace, then you would just leave it blank on this note card. And hopefully one of your other resources gives you that information. Okay. The next set of note cards are yellow. The yellow note cards looking at claim to fame, or what is your explorer most known for. Again, in the corner will be the resource number, and it should match up to your citations. So whatever site you're using for resource number 1, you're putting that information on this note card. Resource number 2 and resource number 3. Okay. The next set of note cards is pay the way. How was the trip funded? Meaning who paid for everything? Was it the explorer themselves? Was it a king or queen? Was it someone else with a lot of money? Try to find out who paid or funded the trip. Again, you have 3 note cards for that, for your 3 different sources. And for some reason, if one of the articles wouldn't mention who paid for it, you leave it blank. If it repeats information, you're still putting it down. And one of the articles does need to answer that question. Okay. Your white note cards are a timeline. And you're listing 7 major events in the order that they happened to your explorer, including their birth and death if they're no longer living. So if your explorer is still alive, you might not have a death date to put in there, and you would just put in another event into the timeline to make a total of 7. And again, there are 3 note cards for that. Okay, there is path to success. What steps did your explorer take to reach their goal? 3 note cards for that one. And rest in peace is only going to apply to you if your explorer has died. If they are still living, you may be able to fill in like some monuments that are around to honor that person, but you are not going to have a death date or death place. And again, there are 3 note cards for that one. And the pinkish purple note cards are for the impact. What impact did the exploration or discovery have on you and the world you live in today? So this is taking some of that information and now making some of your own thinking. You might not find it directly stated in the article, but using information from the article, make an inference as to how this person has impacted you today. Okay, that takes you to the end of your notes. What's eventually going to happen in the coming weeks is you're going to take these note cards and turn them into headings in your paper, in your draft, and you're going to use these notes to help you write your paragraphs. Okay,